The ZEISS 50 1.4 planner blurs a bit wide open, shifts focus depending on the aperture, and isn't bitingly sharp in the center until f2.8. It is also hard as heck to focus wide open through a modern DSLR or mirrorless focus screen. But when it nails things, its color, gentle 3D pop, and soft focus highlights, graded by atomized falloff and central focus, are like nothing I've seen in any 50mm lens or equivalent, Canon, Nikon, Leica, or otherwise. To again demonstrate why I love this lens, I've chosen to focus on one of my favorite things. I have pitted the ZEISS against 3 Canons and a Sigma in rendering Christmas lights to show bokeh shape, size, cat eye, bokeh shift, autofocus, gradient lighting, and more. But because I like to keep it short, this video will focus on the images rather than the commentary. First, randomize samples from each lens. An interesting and often ignored aspect of bokeh and autofocus rendering is the change in shape and shading of point light when either the framing or angle of capture is shifted. To demonstrate this, I switched the camera to video mode and panned around my living room, keeping the focus and the spirit of Some of the Holidays on the ebook version of Germany Must Perish, which I placed about 0.5 meters in front of the camera. Note the change in shape and angle of out-of-focus highlight spheres as the camera pans. Finally, as every but one of these lenses autofocuses, I've decided to show the speed and fluidity of focus for each, this time correctly labeled. Keep in mind that I was working in -3 to -4 EB light, which also tests the limits of the 5D4's live focus system. Also, note the focus breathing and the sound of motors and/or helicoid grinding. I expected to be more blown away by the Canon 51.2, but for me at least, its out of focus points are too flat and too like other modern lenses when capturing point light. As for the Sigma, I really dislike its aspheric derived onion rings and basic rendering. It is much better than the bonus Sigma 31.4 though, whose characteristic rendering of out of focus details is round and flat. The Canon 51.4's rendering is great with subtle outlines and soft gradations, but its autofocus motor often misses focus and only poorly cooperates with PDAF and DPAF focusing. From a pure output stance, it is my second favorite. The 51.8 isn't quite as sharp as the others at 1.8, but its fast and quiet motor and decently graded out of focus colors make it a keeper. The ZEISS of course is my favorite for every reason mentioned earlier, as well as my previous videos on it. That it doesn't autofocus is a real bugger though. Which lens meets your fancy? Let me know in the comment section. Many thanks, and again, Merry Christmas.